This nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. Because I have a dream that my little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis a little after 6 p.m. on April 4th, 1968. As the news spread around the country, angry and grieving citizens poured into the streets. In many places, marches and protests broke out. In some, the crowds turned violent. Shops and restaurants were looted that night, and several were set on fire. Over the following few days, more than 100 cities would experience significant civil disturbance. But the real concern was New York. Almost as soon as the news of King's death hit the airwaves, Harlem residents were out in the streets. Music store owners put speakers out their front doors, playing recordings of King's speeches. Most people were looking for comfort, conversation, and more news. This is the story of how the city avoided conflagration on that first tense night.
Mayor Lindsay, do you have any information about what's going on down in Harlem? I hear there are Molotov cocktails flying everywhere.
The riots. How much damage has been caused?
What's these actions being taken? Do you support the arrest being made?
We're doing the best we can. The police action is merely an anti-police demonstration. I have no comments on the unidentified flying objects. Now, could you leave us in peace? It looks like we should pay a visit to Harlem.
I don't know if that's the best choice to make right now, sir. It could be dangerous.
Someone has got to face those people, Guard. Something has gone very wrong in our country, and I refuse to force them to deal with it on their own. I'm going, whether you join me or not.
I'll go with you. Somebody just has to go up there.
Somebody white has to face those people and say that we're sorry.
I still think it's a really bad idea.
Guard, we have to help them.
My life is over, he said to himself.
Does anybody know what's going on?
I just heard the news. What's going to happen? Hey, everybody! I'll tell you what's going on. Martin Luther King Jr. was
Brad, what the hell are you talking about? If you ever come down here and talk about that sort of stuff again, me and my crew will kill you. Get out of here.
Hey, it's the mayor!
What's the latest on King? How could this happen?
Nothing violent's ever going on down here, but you still have police all over us.
Why is there a barricade on 125th?
Calm down, everyone. Listen, I want to tell you how much I regret King's death. But now, at this time, it's important for our city to now make real progress in alleviating poverty and discrimination.
He doesn't even have written speech, no prepared remarks or anything.
No, he's just calming people.
This is a terrible thing. Let us march.
And suddenly, this gigantic wave started marching down 125th Street, and somehow Lindsay was leading. Though tensions appeared to drop, they did not dissolve completely. One boy in the procession said, to no one in particular,
Man, there's gonna be white blood in the streets tonight.
at Convent Avenue and 125th Street, Lindsay and company encountered 300 students marching from the City University of New York, several blocks north. He called on them to stop.
Down with racism! Blacks of color too! Down with racism! Blacks of color too! Oh, hold on, you guys, it's the mayor!
Please, stop. What our city needs now is peace. There's plenty of time for memorial demonstrations during daylight hours.
Down with racism! Black, we can't go against the mayor! Let's just join him!
A local tough, who called himself Bobby, fell in behind the mayor.
Don't worry. Nobody can get to you while Bobby's here.
As Lindsay moved on, scattered looting took place in his wake, but the peace held. Harlem wasn't out of the woods yet, so to speak, but everyone agreed that Lindsay had made a huge difference by showing up at a time when many mayors across the city and country were hiding out in bunker-like emergency operations centers. Jimmy Breslin, the city's leading columnist, wrote, he looked straight at the people on the streets, and he told them he was sick and he was sorry about Martin Luther King. And the poor he spoke to, who are so much more real than the rest of us, understood the truth that was John Lindsay, and there was no riot in New York.
You're the most courageous man I've ever seen.
Sir, the press is calling. We've got them on every
What
line.
would you like us to release?
Tonight, 5,000 cops and firemen were deployed in and around Harlem and in scattered parts of Brooklyn. There's been minor damage, only 12 arrests, and only a few fires in all the state of New York. I arrived home at 11:30 p.m. It is now 1 a.m. and there's nothing more I can release to you. I have to put my daughter to sleep.
That sounds like a wonderful idea, sir. I'll see you in the morning.
Mayor Lindsay and his two other secretaries hopped back in the city Plymouth and visited Harlem again. Things had died down significantly. Glass and debris littered the streets, but nothing uncontrollable. Lindsay ordered the sanitation department out in force so that the streets would be clean come daylight. Better not to remind the people of what had just happened.